You can all feel it. You can see it. And you hear about it wherever you go now. We live in dead America. How do we reconcile the wrongs in America? I'm Ed Waters, and I'm your host of Dead America. Join me as we dive deep into the great divides, the misunderstandings and confusion that plagues us here in Dead America. Let's have us a look. Welcome to this episode of Dead America. Unfortunately, the expert guest that we did have scheduled for today's episode is unable to be with us today. However, I did schedule the show, and we do have content to bring, so we will be bringing that content to you. Those of you that sent in questions, I do appreciate that, and please continue to do so. I will hold those questions for the next show when we have our business expert on with us. I'm not a business expert, so I don't want to answer your questions improperly. With that being said, we did do research for the show. Our topic is, why do businesses fail? I have my own understanding and my own thoughts on it. We're going to go over that also. But first, let's get into some of the things that I found. Small business survival rate of 2016. According to the Small Business Administration, roughly 20% fail. 4 out of 5 establishments started in 2016 survived until 2017. That's 79.8%. Almost 80%. I was blown away when I heard that. 80% survived the first year. I really thought I would see a different... I would have flipped those numbers if it was me. But, according to the Small Business Administration in 2016, roughly 80% survived the first year. We also looked at an article on CB Insights. And remember, folks, all of our supporting documentation you can always find in the show notes on the website. And that's deadamerica.website. Just look under this episode and you will find supporting documentation. So, based on analytics of 101 startup postmortems, they give the top 20 reasons startups fail. We're not going to go over all 20. We're going to just name the top 5 here. Because even with this research, as a layman, I would have figured totally different on what these numbers should have been. So, according to CB Insight, the number 1 reason is no market needed. So there's no reason for your product or service. I found that pretty interesting. The second reason, running out of cash. Big one. I would have put that first myself. Number 3, not the right team. This is important. And I really think this is high on the list of any business. You need the right team. If you can't work together, you're bound to fail. There cannot be inward fighting, or you cannot survive. You've got to have a good team. You've got to be focused on a project with clear and defined rules and intent. Number 3, not the right team. Number 4, they get out competed. Their competitors kick them out of the way. We see that a lot, especially small businesses getting the boot by larger businesses, these bigger corporations. And I'm not going to name any of those names. We all know who they are. Their competition generally runs them out of business. So number 5, pricing and cost issues. Really, I think that runs right along with the last one, because the bigger you are, the lower cost you can get when it comes to business. And we've got to remember that. The bigger you are, the more product price breaks you can find. And that is always going to be a factor of survival when we talk business. I'm going to leave it at that. I want you to go to the website, deadamerica.website, look in the notes, and check out this CB Insight article. It's awesome. They did a very good job. The layout's wonderful. Get over there and check that out. Now, another thing, raising money is very hard to do for startups. And when you raise capital, you look at different people for it. You got the banks, you've got investors, and then you got family and friends. Basically, I believe that is what we're looking at. Investors range from angel investors to, just average people that want to buy in, like IPO. It's really important to plan. My cousin gave me what he calls the 7 P's of anything. Anything you do, always remember the 7 P's. The 7 P's are simply proper, prior, planning, prevents piss poor performance. So those 7 rules right there really engage your mind. Think about it. You've got to plan properly anytime you want to achieve success. When you talk about capital and you go to a banker, they want to know that you'll be able to repay the loan. So you need a good business plan. Writing up a business plan is really important. It's not easy to do sometimes because it makes you really focus and think about what you want to do. I know during the startup phase, I've changed direction a couple times while writing up a business plan because I needed to shift. And whenever you go into business, you've got to be flexible. If you're rigid, you can break. If you're flexible, you can bend with it. Remember that. So always be open and understand if there's a better idea, you had better grab onto that. Don't let pride take you down. And a lot of people go out of business because of pride. That's my own conjecture. Raising capital from investors. Investors are looking for dramatic growth, and they expect to share it with rewards. So they want some cash off of their investment, as most people do. Return on investment, ROI, is very important, and you've got to look at that. Very important to look at return on investment. Another thing you want to really look at is meeting with professionals. Those individuals that you really need to think about talking to would be an attorney, a business attorney, and an accountant. You've got to get those ducks in order. Make sure you know what you are talking about. Business, it can be brutal, but if you think about it before you act, things can go very well for you. So slow down. You don't have to rush into this. And from experience, if you rush into things, you can really mess up. For success, slow down, study, do a lot of research, know what you are getting into. A business plan is very important. You can reach out to people like the Small Business Administration. They offer numerous types of pamphlets, brochures, classes. They offer a mentorship program called SCORE, and they work with various people out there. They offer discount items on numerous things, but one of the big things that they can offer is a business plan template, and it helps you with your startup planning. So if you are planning a business, get over to the Small Business Administration and do some talking. Really study your market. What niche are you getting into? Don't rush. Do it right. It's important. Preparation. Timing and preparation and the right people. Very, very, very critical. Consult with a counselor. You can find score.org. That's SCORE.org. And check out the Small Business Administration. That's SBA.gov. They have what they call the Small Business Legal Clinic. You want to look that up. And your banker. Your banker knows a great deal about your area, including average income, the level of competition, the real estate in your area. Bankers are a great asset for business. Don't be afraid to walk in there and schedule an appointment and talk to them about your business. You know, your bank, they want you to succeed because they make money off of your success. So reach out to these individuals that make money off of you. They want to help you. It's important. So I can keep on going on and on about a lot of this, but seek professional advice, write a business plan, understand financing, and most important, understand the laws that you need to follow in your area. If you don't understand, reach out and get the help you need. Be informed. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this. I will be looking to have a business professional on to cover some of these issues and to cover those questions that you sent. Thank you for joining us here on Dead America. Business is crucial, and we want you to succeed in everything that you do. Spread the word about Dead America. Get your story on the show. We welcome and invite everybody. We do not discriminate. We want to hear your story. I'm Ed Waters, and I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Dead America.